Hi, it's Sandy Wyllie. Welcome to my mental health channel, Inside My Holes, where I wipe away the stigma of mental illness by talking about my own struggles, having borderline personality disorder, complex post-traumatic disorder, anxiety and panic attacks, depression. I talk about my narcissistic mother who used to beat me, my schizophrenic father who was in and out of mental institutions all my life, my unethical psychologist who raped me, all the different types of therapy I've been in, and a plethora of other mental health related topics. But I only come on as a former patient of almost 20 years. I am not a licensed therapist. I do not hold a degree in psychology, so I cannot diagnose you. I cannot give you a professional opinion. All I ask of you in return is your kindness and respect in the comments. Please be kind to me, be kind to everyone else. We don't need to agree on everything, but we do need to show each other respect and kindness always. Now, if you are new to my channel, welcome. Please hit that subscribe button, that little box in the right-hand corner down below that says subscribe. It's 100% free, and that way you will be notified every time a new video comes out. If you like what you see, go ahead, give it a thumbs up. You can share it with your family and friends. Share the wealth. Today's topic of discussion is going to be how to love yourself unconditionally. You know, we're our worst enemies. We are our worst critics. It's not that easy to, to be fully empathic with ourselves. Sometimes it's much easier to be empathic with other people when they make mistakes. But when we make mistakes, sometimes, like I said, we're our worst critics. But it's never too late to love yourself. Remember that. It's never too late to love yourself. So, here's a question for all you out there. What defines you as a person? Think about it. Let's stop for a moment and think. Are you thinking? What defines you as a person? Is it your job, your title, Dr. So-and-so, the letters after your name, like if you have a master's degree? Is it what other people think of you? Their opinion? Does other people's opinions define you? Is it your looks? Your beauty, or if you're not so beautiful physically, your weight, if you're thin or you're overweight. Is it your relationships? If you're married or you're single, are you popular? Or, are you not really in the in crowd? Or you don't have a boyfriend, you don't have a girlfriend, you don't have any friends? Or is it money? How much money do you have in your bank account? Does that define you? What about the things you own? Do you have that white picket fence in the suburbs? Do you have a fancy sports car? Do you have all the latest gadgets, phones, technology? So those are some things that people turn to that define them. Now, let me tell you what's wrong with all these things that I listed, if that's how you define yourself. First of all, if you define yourself by the job you have, you can always lose your job, right? People lose their jobs every day. And then once you've attached so much of your identity to your job and you lose your job, what happens to you then? Have you lost your identity because you lost your job? What about when you retire? A lot of people go into deep, deep depressions when they retire because they associate so much of their identity with their career, what they do. And when they lose that, or when they retire because they're too old or they're too sick to continue working, or they get laid off, or anything could happen, right? what happens then? They lost the sense of themselves because they tied themselves to their job. What about tying yourself to what other people think of you? So if everyone thinks that you're awesome and great, then you feel good about yourself, right? If I get like 100,000, 200,000 subscribers and everyone views my channel and I get hundreds and thousands of likes, then I'm awesome. But then the next week or two or the next month, if I lose all half of my subscribers, if no one watches my channel, no one likes me, they dislike me, put a thumbs down, then I'm terrible. I'm rotten. I'm horrible. I'm not worthy as a person. Why should I exist? Because I based my value, my worth on what other people think. And you know how fickle people are? People are very, very fickle. They change their mind like that. You know, one minute they love something. Like, you know the trends, right? Clothing trends. Look at the trends, the clothing trends. One minute, you know, bell bottoms are in and they're hot and they're cool, right? The next minute, like, ugh, you know, the skinny pants are in. So one minute something's popular, the next minute, you know, it's horrible. So if you define yourself by what other people think, then you will never be happy, because people are fickle and they change their minds like that overnight. What about looks? Do you love yourself for your looks? Do you have a model figure? Even the models, Christy Brinkley, you know, I just use her as an example, right? What are you going to do if you define yourself by your looks and you get old, okay? You lose your hair, you get wrinkles, well, you get a facelift, then you got to get another facelift. Even if you get a facelift, you know that your face is not the only thing that wrinkles on you. I know this because I'm 60 years old almost, practically 60. I'll tell you, your face is not the only thing that wrinkles. I have more wrinkles on my body than I do my face, okay? My arms are all wrinkled. My legs, my thighs are massive wrinkles at 60. My stomach is all wrinkles. I have more wrinkles on my body than my face. So what are you going to do? Sooner or later, you're going to have to look in the mirror and say, looks aren't what it's all about. It's what's inside. So if you base your worth on your looks, you're going to lose your looks as you get older. And then, because you based all your worth on your looks, you're going to lose your worth. Because there's someone who's going to be much younger than you, much thinner than you, much toner, you know, toner than you, etc., etc. You know, my hairdresser, I'm going to get my hair dyed again on Monday. Last time I got my hair dyed was like last September. I get it done twice a year, professionally, foiled and everything. She looked different. And, you know, I said, oh my God. And then she told me why she looked different. Because she had Botox. Her lips were like humongous. They, you know. And then she had no wrinkles. You know the creases by your eyes? When you age, you can tell someone's age. Look at their eyes. Even if they don't have a wrinkle on their face, you will see creases, lines by their eyes, lines by their mouth. She had Botox, and she has to keep it up every few months, and it's a lot of money. She's a hairdresser. She doesn't make a fortune, you know, but she's going to shell out all that money to make herself look 10 years younger, because she does look, she's 49 and she looks like 38 or something. She looks over 10 years younger. So that's going to be hard to try to keep that up if that's how you define yourself. What about money? Do you define your worth or your value by money? You can lose money. If you invest in the stocks can crash, right? You can lose your job, you know, and go through your savings. Or you can retire, and the cost of living can be so much, you can, you know, a lot of things could happen that would make you lose your money. But if you equate your worth and your value on the money, then when the money dwindles, so will, this has happened to a lot of famous people out there. I won't mention the names, but I think MC Hammer was one of them. So these people, like MC Hammer, grew up very poor. You know, they didn't have much at all. And then they made it. They got wealth, you know. They became famous, so they got a lot of money. But what happened was they couldn't deal with that, that extreme from poverty to riches, rags to riches, and they squander all their wealth, and then they're no longer famous after. Like I told you, people are fickle. They'll they'll like rap 1 minute, and then you don't want like a 50-year-old rapper or a 60-year-old rapper. It's like, ooh, maybe a 20-year-old or something like that. But then when the person ages, it's like, oh, then they don't watch you, they don't buy your music anymore, so you lose all your money because you squandered it. You didn't invest it wisely because you thought it was always going to be there available to you, and you find out that's not true, and then you have nothing, and you equated your worth, how you thought of yourself, based on your bank account, and now your bank account is next to nothing. See, so these are not good things, to define your worth. How I define my worth is things that cannot be taken away from me, like my poetry and my writing. No one can take away my writing and my poetry, okay? I will continue, to keep writing. I started writing I started poetry in 2010. So 14 years I've been writing poetry. Now maybe magazines won't publish my poetry, but even if people turn my poetry away like magazines, it doesn't stop me from writing, okay? I still write every single day. I write, Um, the videos, I'm making hardly any money on these videos. I told you, God, my watch time is down. I made $100. It took me 2 months to make $100. 2 months. But still, I produce these videos because do I base the worth of my videos on how much money I get back? Or do I base the worth of my videos on how much I feel like I'm contributing to society? I'm contributing to mental health. I'm, bringing it out there, getting it out in the open, so wiping away the stigma of mental illness. That's my whole video. That's what I say in my videos. In the beginning of every video, I say I'm wiping away the stigma of mental illness by talking about my own personal experiences. So what value, that's a big value to me, all right? That I'm sharing my own inner struggles openly, transparently, honestly, candidly with the public, all right? Even though I'm not getting I'm getting pennies, nothing for what I'm producing. But if I base myself on how much money I'm getting from it, then I'll feel like a big fat zero, like I'm a nothing. I get no money. $100 every couple of months, what's that, That's like, my God, is that like $1 a day or something stupid? But I don't base my worth on the money I get from doing my mental health channel. I base it on how I'm contributing to mental health without being a psychologist or a psychiatrist or a therapist even. I'm a former patient, and I come on as a former patient and talk openly about all my experiences, my traumas, my abusive past, and I feel like other people can connect. When I say I have no friends, other people come on and say that, they don't have friends either. And I make them feel not so bad about themselves because they can say, hey, look, Sandy doesn't have any friends either. I'm not the only one. Or Sandy has borderline personality too. I'm not the only one. Or Sandy has severe panic attacks and anxieties. I'm not the only one. Sandy talks about schizophrenia and her father, who was in and out of mental hospitals, how her mother was narcissistic and beat her, how she was raped by her psychologist. Sandy, openly tells everyone everything, and people feel, a kindredness with me and feel like, and that's what's important, that is what it's all about. If I base it on money, then why would I even bother being here? Why would I even bother putting these videos out? Because I get nothing from them. I get no money. That I don't mean I don't get nothing from them. I get no monetary compensation from all the hard work and effort I put into them. I get hardly any monetary compensation. So I don't base my worth on what can be taken away from me. Money can be taken away from me. Views can be taken away from me. Likes can be taken away from me. But no one can take away my producing a video, you know. I produce one every day, except when I go on vacation, and I'm going on vacation September 18th. September 18th, and I won't be back for another 10 days from there. So it's going to be like 10 days I'm not going to be doing. I'm going to Florida with my family. So it's going to be 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, probably like the 28th, September 28th. I'm not sure. Is when I'll be back, but when we get closer to that time, I'll give you the details about it then. But other than that vacation, you know, I produce a video every single day. You can't take that away from me. You can't take my writing, my poetry away from me. You know, so these are things that are part of my being that other people and circumstances can't take away from me. And that's what you need to make part of your being. Develop yourself as a person. Develop yourself as the best the best possible version of yourself. Develop it. And you know what? No one is going to be able to take that away because it's not based on a job or a title or people's opinions or your looks or your relationships. None of my writing or my YouTube videos is based on any money, any job, what people think of me, you know, or my relationships or anything. It's just based on what I have deep inside my heart, my soul, my spirit, what I have and what I want to share with you. So you can learn to love yourself unconditionally. Sorry, unconditionally. I never edit these things. You can learn to love yourself. It's never too late to love yourself. You work on it. Work on your inner core. Work on that each and every day. All right? I love you, and you are special. You alone are special. Okay? And I want you to believe that. You alone matter. Everyone matters. Okay? Everyone. Until next time.